Those amazing Mets. Sunday's Daily News brings you a special 24-page color magazine saluting the '86 Mets, your favorite stars and scorecards to mark the Mets' playoff progress through every game. Save your Mets souvenir in Sunday's Daily News. And the Sinatra series continues with the most explosive revelations so far from this much-talked-about book. Sundays are bigger, better, brighter in
the Daily News, New York's hometown paper.
Entertainer Kenny Rogers, Monday on Live at 5.
This is News 4 New York with Chuck Scarborough and Sue Simmons.
Good evening. Sue is off tonight. I'm Pat Harper. Two desperate American hostages make a televised plea for freedom.
The two vanished into the lethal quagmire of Beirut a year and a half ago. A reporter and a hospital official kidnapped by Shiite Muslims who are experts in the politics of pain. The kidnappers, the Islamic Jihad, released videotapes of their American hostages today. The conditions under which the men said what they said are not known. But they both attacked the U.S. government and President Reagan, and they pleaded for freedom. Jane Hansen reports.
After 2.5 years of empty talk and refusal to act on the part of the Reagan administration, it hurt to see the propaganda and bombast with which that administration solved the problem of Mr. Danilov, a citizen like us, who was in prison only a short time. Another hurt, worse than captivity, is the fact that our government refuses to help us.
Their words were angry and bitter, but whose words were they?
They appeared to me to be in good health and to be speaking freely there for themselves.
Whatever the truth, it has been a long 18 months of captivity for Terry Anderson, American journalist, head of the Associated Press Bureau in Beirut, and for David Jacobson, taken in May of 1985. Hostage experts agree that Anderson and Jacobson probably do feel resentment over the Danilov case.
How can any official justify the interest and attention and action given that case and the inattention given ours? Being ignored is the worst pain. Why does our government increase our suffering by ignoring us? I thought that Americans were to be protected by the government and not hurt by it. Don't we deserve the same attention and protection that you gave Danilov?
There is no comparison between the two situations. In one, we were dealing with a government that had, under its laws, arrested one of our citizens, we think unjustly. We were able to get him back. There has never been a day that we have not been trying every channel to get our hostages back from Lebanon. But they were not seized by a government. We don't know who's holding them.
As for Danilov himself, well, today at an appearance in Florida, he talked of his concern for the hostages.
My heart goes out to my brother journalist, Terry Anderson of the Associated Press, who is held as a hostage in Lebanon, as are several other American citizens.
How long must we stay in captivity? How long will the American government not pay attention?
Jane Hansen, News 4, New York.
On the tape, both men also confirmed the death of another hostage, William Buckley. Last year, the Islamic Jihad claimed it executed Buckley in retaliation for Israeli bombings on Palestinian camps in Lebanon. Pat?
For the families of the hostages, it was a day of mixed emotions: relief at the sight of their loved ones, frustration at their continuing captivity. As the tape of the hostages played, relatives watched around the country. In California, Eric Jacobson, the son of David Jacobson, reacted along with the others.
I'm basically helpless to resolve this. The captors don't want to deal with me. I don't have the resources, the political clout to make a difference in the situation. All I can do is appeal as a family member.
Of course, I cried, and after I got over that, I began to try to, I think as all the families do, figure out every little gesture and word and what it meant. I can guarantee you that when he agreed to make that tape, it was because he felt he had something important to say, and that those were his words.
The relatives agreed the taped statements gave them all strength to keep trying to free the hostages.
Tonight, the Senate Intelligence Committee has concluded there was no planned policy by the White House to spread false information about Libya and Muammar Gaddafi. President Reagan, on his way to Camp David, hotly denied the White House lied to the media about imminent terror attacks by Gaddafi. He said there was never a policy of misinformation to try to destabilize Gaddafi's hold on Libya.
No, we didn't tell any lies, and we weren't We weren't doing any of these disinformation things that we've been cited with doing. We simply, as I've said before, wanted him to understand that if he tried any more of the same type of terrorist acts, we would react.
The Senate probe found there was no policy to spread fake information about Gaddafi, but it concluded that some White House staffers may have done so on their own.